But switching gears to something that was fun and not tense and not crazy, but just as crazy. It's in its own way. And I also love this film too. It surprised the hell out of me, Rob, and you'll be surprised too. Barbie.
Okay, yes. This is what I want to know. How was I right, Steve? Was it like Enchanted? I want to hear this.
Refresh the audience of.
Okay.
Real with you of what it might be, but I would just say I think it will try to follow that Pleasantville trope.
Definitely, but in a good way. I feel I get good vibes that they're going to do it in the right way, where it's like, yeah, you can like these dolls, but you also need to embrace change as well. You can't live in the past forever. You have to.
Not every girl's a Barbie.
Yeah,
everyone is unique. Not everyone is the same. We have our own differences, and that's what makes us beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is probably going to keep her into the real world.
In the real world, yeah. Exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't end up with Ryan Gosling.
So the things I said about Barbie is I said there would be two things about Barbie. One is that Barbie at the end of the film would either bring back the real world to Barbie's world and incorporate that, because everyone can't be, everyone has to be themselves. Mm-hmm. Or I said she wouldn't stay with Ken. Right. Is that she would be with somebody else.
That is a 2 hits.
So I was correct on both.
The Barbies live in a world that's called Barbie Land. And it's where the Kens live, it's where the Barbies live. There's all different types of Barbie. Right? There's the ordinary Barbie, who's played by Margot Robbie. Then kind of all the iterations of the Barbies, right, Rob? There's a whole bunch. I didn't play with Barbies, but my sister did, but you know what I mean. You've seen it. Barbie and Surfer Barbie and Surfer Ken, and all of them are there. And everything is right, Rob, until she kind of just goes like, do you guys feel like, because like every day is like perfect, right? Because they're dolls.
Right.
They're everything Barbies. Is perfect. They're Barbies. So she gets in the shower and she's like showering and there's like no water coming on her. She's like drinking coffee in the morning. There's no coffee, but she's like, I feel refreshed. And she's like, it's like Pee Wee Herman, dude. She's like putting the toast in the toaster oven. She's holding the the plate out, and the toast like comes and flies on her plate. Everything is great until she's just like, do you guys ever, think about death? And then everybody's like, what did you just say? And she's like, everything is good, right? Getting to your next point. So Rob was right on, yes, this is about Barbie Land, but she's saying that because every Barbie in Barbie Land has an owner. It's like Toy Story a little bit. So you're going to get Toy Story vibes where it's like somebody has an owner. So Margot Robbie's owner, she needs to figure out who it is because she's having these thoughts of like death. And she's like, I don't know why I would be thinking this. Turns out that there's an employee that works for Mattel who works like with a Barbie production thing. She's coming up with a new line of Barbies that are getting shot down by a panel. Like the whole CEO panel is like all dudes, and it's Will Ferrell who's like the CEO, and he's just kind of like, she's going, you know how it's gonna go, Rob, right? It's a very just like, shouldn't
he's the guy there to stop them.
Yeah, basically, where he's going like, like there was a CEO. Yeah, he's like,
God, I was right, Steve. You don't even have to keep going. I can already tell where this film was.
But the Ken,
I knew I was
thing,
right.
The Ken thing, Ken is always trying to get with Barbie, but Barbie doesn't understand that because she's a doll. So she's like, Ken's like, can I stay at your house? And she's like, no, you can't. Like, the party's over, goodbye. And then like Ken gets in his feelings, but even Ken doesn't understand why, because like the Kens are kind of second fiddle because it's always about Barbie. Who cares about Ken, right? So Barbie goes to the real world with Ken. So they go in and they figure out what the real world is. She figures out what misogyny is. He figures out that men rule the world.
Just like Enchanted. Remember, I said just like the movie Enchanted.
Pretty much, it's the same deal.
And how? Let me ask, how sexualized was it?
No, it's not sexualized at all.
Not sexualized. Okay, because Enchanted was very sexualized.
Yeah, I think the only thing that you get that sexualized is trying to make a point where she's they're like skate, like I don't know. It's like the thing you saw in the trailer where they're rollerblading in Santa Monica. And like these guys are like, hey baby, like why don't you come over here and sit on my lap? She's just like, I have no genitalia and neither does he, and I don't know what you're saying because I'm a doll. And then they go like, oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. It's a lot of that. So she's figuring out what it means to be like a woman and live in a world. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Ken also figures out like, oh, men rule the world.
Sorry, I'm
He's
getting
like,
here because I
he's
was
all
so
seeing
right.
like Ronald Reagan was a president, it's a man. Like corporations are all led by dudes. He takes that philosophy back to Barbie Land and
I would
takes
say,
it.
aren't Kens like that though? I mean, Ken basically is always like business Ken, business whatever Ken.
Yeah, but it's also kind of like business Ken trying to get with business Barbie, like
Yeah,
Barbie trying to get
business
with
Barbie is the CEO. That's right.
yeah. So they're trying to always do that, but he's like, I'm tired of playing second fiddle. I want to be, up there. But that's all really I'm going to say. There's a lot of points to this that are really, really deep, Rob. Like not just for women, but for dudes too. It's like
I know,
finding
man. I know. I know it's
finally
all about being yourself. I really do.
yourself. It's
I
champion.
know
I
it
didn't. You
is.
you were right. Let me just get it out of the way.
I
When I
was
was
fucking
watching
right.
it,
And I'm
I
sorry,
was
ladies
like,
and
this
gentlemen.
guy
I am gonna toot
sticks
my
in.
own horn here. I was right about the Barbie film. I knew that's how it was gonna be.
Yeah.
So who
I mean,
does Barbie end up with? Does she stay with Ken?
she doesn't go with anybody because she's like, my story doesn't have an ending. So I don't have to end up with anybody. And she kind of convinces Ken, you also don't have to come up with anybody either. She's like, I'm not
Went the
for you.
neutral way. Okay.
Yeah, but they're also going like, you need to find who Ken is. Ken isn't just the second fiddle and isn't this power hungry guy. Ken needs to find Ken rather than it just being Ken and Barbie. So it's a very life lesson story that's very, very cool. And it's like a coming of, I don't know. I was going to say a coming of age, but it's more so just like an acceptance in life. It's like this.
No, that's true because it's like again we talked about this. We said this from the get go, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna put my stuff out there right now because I knew I was right.
Go ahead.
I knew it was gonna be like Enchanted. I knew it was gonna be like Pleasantville. It was gonna have that very feeling of everyone should be included. It really, I knew that's what it was going to be. That's the theme. The theme right now in movies, I hate to say it, and if you hate it, you're too bad. You better, bitch, you better get going because I hate to say it. This is all what corporations are doing.
Yeah.
It's not about red or blue. It's about green. They're all doing that. They're all basically doing this whole thing because it's better for business, better for money. Yeah. It's either about inclusion or the process right now. That's what it's all about in movies.
Fake process.
I don't know because are you saying Air was fake process, Steve?
There was to be kind of
are you
like
saying
Air.
Lamborghini was fake process?
Kind of like.
Are you saying Tetris was fake process? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying all those movies were that?
Yeah, Tetris is a good movie, but
Tetris was a good movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just you were right on it. It was spot on. There were just like a little bit of the things where they
Sorry, my audience, I don't think Rob doesn't really get to do this too often, but I don't think they heard you in the back, Steve. No, I was right.
He was right.
I was right. That's right.
Both
I
of
knew.
the things.
I knew. And I'm gonna put that clip where we talk about Barbie here on the link below, ladies and gentlemen, so you know what I said. That's why you need to follow the Real Sharks podcast.
No, he didn't say that. No way.
I said it. I said it
when we saw the trailer months ago.
Right. So I may have been wrong about him not. And actually, I did say she wouldn't end up with Ken.
Yeah, he doesn't. And Ken ends up with nobody either. They all kind of just accept kind of like their role of like, okay,
right.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
We know that this real world exists. You know what I mean? And we'll kind of just deal with it like that. But yeah, I would also give maybe Barbie an 8.5, close to a 9.
Whoa!
Dude, it was good.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, Steve! Did you say an 8.5?
8.5.
That's almost close to a 9.
Almost close, and I just gave Oppenheimer a 9.5, close to a 10. But these films.
Steve, are you sure there wasn't a gas leak in the theater?
No. I will say this: thank God I went with my sister to this film because I would feel weird just sitting front row.
Okay. Would you have felt more weird as like the only dude, or would you felt weird as like the only black dude?
I'm not black dude. I think just the only dude because
I got your ass there.
There's just a bunch of dads in there, and they're looking at me like, "Where's your kid at?"
I got your ass. I know they're gonna escort you out of the theater.
I also saw this in IMAX as well. I'm just kidding.
Well, I was gonna say, really?